And we're going to start off with just doing some desensitisation with her. She's only been here for a couple of days. She came on Thursday. It's now Sunday. So we'll see how we go. We're going to do some desensitisation work. Try and get her to... I've got her at the moment with the rope on so that she's learning how to come off the pressure. And hey Beard, hey Crazy Cat, how you guys going? She's learning to come off the pressure. She's learning how to not freak herself out. So if she treads on this rope, like she's just doing there, and she goes to put her head up, see that? Immediately she knows how to release herself, so that's a good thing. So we're going to work with her. It is 7:30 in the morning. It's a good time of day because it's going to be stinking hot later. Now, I've got to go and grab my keys so I can get some stuff so I can work with her. I'm going to work on her feet today. I've got to start rasping her feet. There goes my neighbour, Tom. Hi, Tom. I'll be back. Don't you start crap. You start crap, we go straight back. Don't you start. Don't you start crap with Freckles. Zara, back you go. Up. I'm going to scare you off. Back you go. Don't you start. I've got Zara just behind me. She wants to start crap, as she tends to do. She's got an issue with Pony. Very jealous. Doesn't like Pony at all. So, hey, Mr. Ed, how you doing? Nikolai. Hi, Nikolai. How you doing? So, here she is. She's so beautiful, this horse. Such a pretty pony. Just shaking the water bottle around. She's not worried about that. Look, see? She says, I don't know what it is, but I'm not too worried. She's not as worried as Zara is about it. She says, oh, yeah. It's good for her to see everything I possibly can expose her to. Now, I'm going to go grab my farrier gear. lovely girl. I'm going to do some work with you today. You're the big chubby pony. Good job. You're not scared of the rope today. You're scared of this back here. That's nice. Release yourself. Good girl. Come on. Here she comes. And this pony's so damn fabulous. Seriously. I really cannot believe. I'm just going to turn this around. How lovely she is. She truly is a lovely girl. She's going to try and work her way back towards me. Come on, love. Come on, darling. Good girl. Good girl. You're going to have... Oh, she's going to check out the bag. She's going to check out the bag with all the goodies to do her feet. She says, I don't know about that. I'll think about it. You're treading on yourself. Move back and release yourself. Release yourself. Good girl. So she, as soon as there's any pressure on her, and I need to get her a better halter. I don't like these halters. They're not good for teaching horses anything at all. They're all right, you know, for a horse that's very much not timid. But for a timid horse, they're not the greatest because they teach them to pull further back. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring everybody, actually no, I'm going to keep everybody here. Actually no, I will bring everybody in, under and in. Hopefully this won't stuff up, but let's see what we can do with her. So I'm going to put my stuff right here. And first of all, I'm going to say hi to her. Let her understand where I'm at, what it is I'm going to do. Notice I've got my hand over the top and I'm giving very strong pats, very strong rubs. It's not actually patting, it's rubbing. This is what their mums do when they're young. They never forget. It's nice for them to have. And she's a bit tender when you touch here. So she might be a little bit sore in the neck, yeah. A bit sore there. Good girl. She's probably pulled on herself whenever she's been tied up. And as a result, this is what happens, yeah. So we're going to have a feel of this side. Notice I'm not touching the lead rope. I'm letting her deal with the lead rope. She's very timid. As much as she wants to be around and help, she's very timid. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So with the lead rope, when I first brought her here, and actually when I went to see her, I couldn't put a lead rope near her at the back without her flipping out. And you can see the uncomfortableness there in the ear. So what I want her to do is get to a point where she drops her head a little because she's relaxing a bit more. There we go. And once we get to that point, then we can start to work further back. Just slowly, steps at a time. You can see in her face there, she's a bit concerned there. She's like, what is happening? What's going on? What we do on one side, we do on the other. Good girl. Now remembering, I'm still learning all about her. I don't know her, but what I want to do is I want her to bump her face away from me. I don't know whether or not she has a tendency to bite. I don't think so. I was told she doesn't, and I pretty much believe what they're saying because of her nature. What I want her to do is relax with me touching the rope around her. Now, another thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is if she may be pregnant. Simply because big thing of cockatoos going up, pink galahs actually. And we're going to put that over there. We're going to remove it and we're going to put it over. There we go. See how she's freaked out just then? And this is something we've really got to get over if we want to be working with young children or anybody really. She's very confused and concerned about that. This is all just desensitisation. If I want to get to her feet, I have to know that she's okay with me being anywhere else on her body. If she's not okay with that, then she's not going to be okay with me doing her feet. They have tried to work on her with her back feet and they had no success with the back feet. The front feet as well, they had a bit of trouble. So they just haven't had a farrier to her. So I need to get that happening, or I need to do it myself, one or the other. I'm not going to do it today, but what I am going to do is get her used to the tools and the bag. I did this the other day with her when she got here. Let her have a smell. It looks like a stupid thing to do, but let me tell you, these kinds of things make a big difference. Toss it on the ground. This is what a farrier will do when he comes. He doesn't care. He's been working all day with about 50 horses. By the time he gets to her, he couldn't care less whether or not she's nervous or not. He's just, let's get the job done. There we go. And these are the sort of things that they will do. So let's do what they're going to do. They're going to throw their tools on the ground, throw their stuff everywhere. She says, okay, that's not too bad. She's licking and chewing now, so that's a good thing. Some gloves. What about them? We don't want to overload her, but she's got to get used to things. These are strange. She says, I don't think I know about these. Obviously, she doesn't know about these very much, or she doesn't like them. One or the other. Good girl. I'm asking you to come back in. Good girl. Lovely. Good job. You get a pat with the glove. And when she relaxes, I just want her to realise she can relax with this. There we go. Good girl. Ah. She's just smelling me to see what this is. She's staying in the moment really well. Good girl. And when she settles and puts her, when she drops her head, drop. Good girl. Good job. And I'm going to give her a reward of release when she settles, when she drops her head of her own accord. Good girl. You've got to remember there's a lot of things that has to happen with this horse. She's got to get her feet done. She also has to have... Now, one thing I don't want her to do is to be constantly putting her face on me as a reassurance. That's not a good behaviour for her to have. Because she's new here, I'm not so worried about it. But see that? If I just even do that, look how timid this horse is. So when I say she's timid, I mean she is timid. This is a horse that a little 12-year-old girl was working with and left her to break the horse in. She did a fantastic job, but this horse is extremely timid and has absolutely... I'm going to let her have a little bit of leadway with that, but I want her to come back in. I want her to come back in whilst I'm doing this, and the purpose of that is for her to see. You see that? She's coming in. There we go. And it's going to retreat, and she's going to come forward. And there we go. That's better, see? Not so bad. I'm going to smack myself with the gloves on the side, make some sounds. Then we're going to swing backwards and forwards. Now this is a horse that really has had nothing done. She's 10-year-old. She's not a baby. Somewhere between 9 and 10 years of age. We're going to mimic something flying around. Now right now she's thinking, I want to escape. She's showing me all the signs that she wants to get out of here. She's doing a very much holding her breath. And we've got to get her to relax into this. Good girl. Going to ask her to come forward. She's very, very good in the sense that she wants to do the right thing. She wants to do what we're asking. But we want her to do it where she's relaxed, not where she's petrified. Being petrified is not a good thing for this horse. So what I'm going to do, let me first make sure this is actually working. This isn't actually working. All right, give me a second. There we go. It's charging now. So I don't want to be walking around her on cotton wool balls. I want her to learn it's okay to come with me. I'm going to see something and see if she'll come with me. She's going to follow. Come on. got to trust that I know what I'm doing. I want her to trust me, and she so far is doing a very good job at doing that. She's very good at trusting me. What I'd like her to do, hook, hook, is to follow me while I'm doing this. Come on. Good girl. So she's got two things to worry about here. She has her rope on, and the cat's coming now, so we might just de-escalate things by moving the cat on. Off you go, buddy. Good boy. Love you dearly, but you need to get out of here because if the horse decides to take off. So we're just going to do this and see how she's a bit more relaxed now. She's got her ears not as far back. Her eyes a bit more, a bit less scared. She's giving more of a quiet eye. She's licking and chewing there. As soon as I stop making that sound, she's licked and chewed. Let's see what she does again. So her way of telling me that she's okay is by her putting her head down a bit and relaxing a little. Come on. Come on round here. Good girl. And we can see that she's really trying so very, very hard. So we're going to give her a pat. We're going to give her a moment to think about things. I've got this other horse in here trying to get desperately inside to everyone else's things. So she's in a different environment than she's been in for the last 2 days. She's been down with Henry. Let's see what she does while I'm standing right here with her and giving her a pat while this is flipping around. What I'd like her to do, stay with me in this moment. Nothing to worry about. See, I want to make her feel that she's stronger. It's got to be her idea that it's okay to take a step forward. I can ask, but if she doesn't want to, she won't. If she trusts me, she will start to take a step. Good girl. And we reward that little step. I'm going to retreat this side. She wants to stay with me on that side, so I'm going to go on this side. What I want to do is on this side, I want to keep this eye on her. She wants to look on this eye here, but I want her to look on this eye. So I want her to keep, because I need to check something out. Good girl. Girl. I want her to be letting me be on this side. This is the eye I want to be on. This is the side she has a lot of trouble, and you can see the agitation come in when she gets to this side. She's like, I don't know if I like that. She's trying to look with the other eye. So I'm beginning to wonder if for some weird reason you can't see that. So she's trying to see, but if I do it on this side, she's not as worried. I'm starting to wonder if there may be something in, there's a little sort of, now she can see perfectly fine, she just doesn't like anything being on this side. So I'm going to ask her to just turn for me. Just relax and stand. Good girl. We're just going to relax and stand. Now, there's a reason why I had my hand here. I've got my hand there for the reason of being able to get past her on that side because she doesn't want anybody on this side. So I'd like her to let me go this side. And we're going to just move around. She wants to keep putting herself in this eye. So I want her on this eye. Going to touch your nose. It's okay. You can see what I mean about she's a very scared horse. Very timid. And the very thing that's frightening her, we want to make it not a scary thing. So how do we do that? We just be very, very, very slow and very deliberate with what we're doing. There we go. Make it something that's not hurting. Yeah, it's a bit silly, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to ask her to come forward again. So you can see when you have a horse that is difficult to work with like this, why I think it was amazing that this young lady who was riding her was able to get So she clicked with that for a moment there. She says, oh, that's not so bad. Good girl. You can see. It's when it gets further away that she gets a bit funny. She's not so bad when it's closer up. Just got to give her the chance to... She can escape if she needs to. It's only got a loose rein on. Good job. But how do you get to her feet if you can't even do anything like this? Because if you can't do something like this, then it's going to be a lot harder to get around her feet. So as much as I'd love to just be able to do her feet immediately, it's not going to happen without sedation. I do not want to sedate her. It's a dangerous thing to sedate a horse unless you absolutely need to. You should never sedate a horse. It's not a great idea. It's best to work through the problems and get the horses to a point where they are no longer heightened, where they'll allow you to work with them. It can be done, and it just takes time and patience. A lot of people don't have the patience for it. But if you work hard and you have the patience for it, you can see already she's got her head high. I'm going to ask her to drop her head while I'm doing that. Good girl. That's a good job. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to ask her to do that. Being mindful of the fact that she's saying to me, I'd like to look over that side. Now, a lot of people will run a horse like this around and lunge them and try to get the anxiousness out of them. You can do that, and it might help a little bit, but it won't change a mindset. It'll just make them tired and scared. It's better to change the mindset. There we go. She says, oh, you're not so bad. You're not so bad. Yeah. I'm not so bad. And you can see she's very uncomfortable. She's not wanting to be in this position. What do we do? And this is where, you know, extremely important that if you don't do it right, you're going to have a big problem in the future. If you get angry with a horse like this and you get yelling and screaming and raising your voice at them, they're going to back into a shell and they're going to hate people and they're not going to want to come back out of it. And this girl has definitely got the sort of nature that you cannot yell and scream or be impatient with her at all. If you do that, you are going to make more of a problem. I'm going to try something now. I'm actually going to put the glove on my hand. And we're going to just do some pats with the gloves on. I'm going to swing around like nothing is happening. I'm just going to act like there's nothing going on. She's all worried, but you know what? I'm not, so it's not so bad. We're going to go for a wander while I'm doing all this stuff. Yeah. We go for a walk while I'm doing all the swinging and the swinging and swaying. All the silly things happening. But we're okay. And you can see she's getting a little bit more confident now. She's starting to go, oh, I'm actually following this and it's not so bad, you know. It's just not so bad. She's relaxing. So she's good when she's able to move. And that's an anxious thing. Just like humans, if we want to get our anxiety out, we need to do a physical release. Horses are no different. I'm going to come along. She's going to hear the sounds of this glove. Much nicer response there. I'm going to come this side. All the while, whenever we're doing this, we're going to be doing things like this. So she's just used to all this kind of stuff. Good girl. There's a good girl. There we go. Just relax. I want her to work it out all by herself. If it's not going to hurt her. Whoop, I nearly fell over then. I need to work it out myself, whether I'm standing and coming or going back. She's not sure what she's doing. So we're going to just work it out. Now she's getting a bit pushy. She's pushing in and she's starting to get a bit silly. So we'll let her go for a wander. Good girl. Good job. We're going to let her stand and think about that for a minute. This is an awful lot for her. It's a lot of work. big snort, that's a release of pressure. Now, when they're snorting like that, she's held in a lot there just to be able to stand and allow me to do those little things there. So that's an awful lot. She's not breathing well. So if you watch her, she's holding her breath literally. Something we don't want her to do. And she could explode at any point in time with and let herself go and give herself a big release. And this is what I haven't seen yet, but I don't think we want to get to that point. We're trying to allow her to figure this out herself and relax herself. So she's telling me right there, she wants this. She's like, what is this thing doing on me? Why is it here? So she's feeling a bit like she doesn't know what's happening. So I'm going to pick up this and I'm just going to walk beside her with it and just move it around so she can see. This is exactly what the farrier will do. Good girl. I'm just going to let her move herself where she wants to go. And then I'm going to back up. I'm going to ask her to come forwards while I'm swinging it around. You can see there's no pulling here. She's coming of her own accord. I'm just giving her a gentle tug there, but it's not pulling. It's allowing her to stand in that moment of her own accord. And we're going to go around the head. It looks really ridiculous, but let me tell you, there is nothing ridiculous at all about what I'm doing. It's actually a necessity. And had it been done when she was very young, her life would have been a bit different. There would have been a better outcome for her. And had it been done the right way, there would have been a better outcome for her. Again, she's holding her breath in and she's not wanting to release that. So I'm going to stop for a second and let her think about it. This is why today I will not be touching her feet as far as actually working with them, because it's too dangerous. It's dangerous for her, it's dangerous for me. It's mentally dangerous for her. We've got to make sure we don't break her mind, that we actually encourage her to become a much more confident girl. And you can see there, she's still holding it in. I want her to take a breath and relax. I want her to drop her head and take a breath and relax. Yep, it's okay, you're all right. She keeps coming for reassurance, and what we want is her to reassure herself. We don't want her to always have to have assurance from me. There we go, she's dropping her head nicely. Good girl. And there's the lick and chew. So she says, okay, well, you're okay about this. Good girl. And she's going up to the bag. She's having a sniff. And she's like, wow, okay. Good girl. This is all of her own choice. She's becoming more confident there. And you can see, there she is. She is deciding to do this herself. What is this? Now I'm going to get down and I'm going to move the bag about. Are you going to get curious about it again? What is it? She says, yep, I'm going to have a smell. What we want her to do is not to panic about things. We want her to think about them, sure. And I'm going to ask her to back up. And what that does is that reinforces me telling her to back away, makes her feel as if it was her choice to come up. She's stronger at coming up. And then I'm going to ask her to come forward. Very smart horse, this girl. Very intelligent. She's going to smell again. I'm going to back her up. Back. Good girl. Excellent release on pressure. She's very good at figuring things out. She's a smart girl. She's not a baby, so she understands things a lot better. Now what happens if I pick this up and sling it over myself? Ugh. And then she has to walk along next to that. Is she going to be okay with it? A little bit wary. And she says, you know what? It's not so bad. I have a smell. wants to check the bag out. I'll come back over here and I'll show you. So remember too, I'm exactly the same as her. I'm also freaking out because I hate working with flighty horses. It scares the crap out of me. Trust me, even a small pony like this can do some big damage. If they get into their mind that they've got to fight you, you're in trouble because they will hurt you. When they've got a powerful kick, they can kill you. She's having a sniff. I'm going to bring this out. Came out of the bag. Goes back in the bag. Make a bit of sound, rumble around in the bag. There we go. See the instant release that she gave herself then? She did some licking and chewing. Now she's more curious in the eye. Her eye looks more curious than frightened. Curiosity's fine. We love curiosity. What we don't like is fear. Being afraid of everything is never fun. I'm now tossing that in the air. She's like, well, that's a bit of a different move. It is. It's a very different move. Can you imagine if you had a kid on this pony and someone throws their hands in the air or throws an object in the air, you're in trouble if she doesn't get used to this. Put it back in the bag. Let's see if she wants to see what's in the bag. I'm going to ask her to come forward. Ask her to come forward. Come on. And this horse is being as old as she is, there's a good chance that we can't do too much with her. But we can help desensitise her to a degree. She's improved already since she's gotten here. She's understanding a lot better. Here's a hoof pick. This will be the very first thing we'll use with her. Now, the lady did say that they did try to pick her feet, but she was very timid about it. They were able to get the front feet done, but they couldn't get anywhere near the back feet. That's going to take a bit of work. The good thing is she's got good feet. They're not dreadfully, terribly bad. They do need doing, but they are not impossibly bad to where I'd need to sedate her right at this point in time. I think if I work with her on a daily basis, within a couple of weeks, we should be able to get a farrier around here and get those feet done. Whether she will take to a farrier depends. She might need to see them a couple of times before I'm prepared to pay a farrier, you know, a bit extra to spend a bit of time just letting her, and see, I'm deliberately going straight at things. I'm just not worrying about her. Here's our clippers. Oh, there we go. They fell on the ground. Oh, whoops. What can we do about it? Not much. Let's go for a wander. Are they still going to be here when we come back? They might be. They might be. He says, well, I don't know. You don't seem to be doing much about all this. It's not really that scary, is it? No? So I hope you guys can see, like, that she's, I mean, can you tell? She's very different from my horses. My horses have been very well desensitised. As Ellie in particular is really desensitised because all the work I put in with her. But Ellie was also a baby when I did all that. If something were to come up behind her right now, she'd bowl me over in a heartbeat. And that's what we're worried about. See, there's a bird just went over. I'm very aware of it. A child wouldn't be. So, you know, a lot of work to do. But she's a beautiful horse. She's got a lot of potential to be have a lot more confidence, but the confidence has to come within herself. This is all about how she feels about her environment and how she can't control her own self to calm herself down. We want her to learn to calm herself down. It's all well and good her being okay with me being there, but what happens when it's not me and a stranger has to deal with her? Well, there you go. When you got the vet out or you got somebody else out, it becomes a very stressful thing. So we want her to become confident around herself, not just around me, because she tends to look at the primary person who's working with her. I noticed this with when I got Josh to move her around and do some things with her, and she just she's focused on that one person, which is good, but we need to get her focused on herself and her own ability to be able to, and I'm just going to do a bit of work. And what I'm going to do right now is just going to pop this up and around her legs. This is so soft. It's really ridiculously soft. She probably needs something that's got a little bit more weight to it just so she can feel it better. But I want her to get used to something being around and grasping around the bottom of her leg. Actually, what I might do, I do have a longer rope that I might have to get at. And what I want to show you is, see this? See the look on the eye? She's like, nah, I'm going to get hit. I'm going to get hit. Well, you're not going to get hit, sweetheart. She doesn't know she's not going to get hit because she's probably been hit at some point. I would bet my life on it. As a youngster, someone has taken to her with a whip or a rope and beaten the absolute crap out of her. Probably just thinking they're doing the right thing, but damaging her in the process. So it takes her a while to adjust to this. She could just be a nervy horse. I had a nervy horse that was like this. He was dreadful. I got him and he was completely unhandled. I rescued him from down at the Echuca horse sale yards. He was heading for the slaughterhouse. He was a year old. And I ended up breaking him in, and he was excellent for me. I was able to ride him. I was able to do everything with him. But he just never got over what had happened to him, and he couldn't deal with other people. He wasn't friendly with other people the way he was with me. He trusted me, and she's frightened there, so there's something going on here with her, freaking out there. She's got some flies probably bothering her. And that's another thing I'd like to do with her too, is get her some fly spray happening too. So just doing things like this, very basic, but also very necessary and very good. And you've got to give her an escape route so she understands she can escape if she needs to or if she wants to. Good girl. There we go. I'm going to pop that over her neck, and then I'm going to let her decide what she's going to do about that. So it's on her. She's going to move, and it's going to be on both sides now. What's going to happen? You see how she's a bit nervous about this? I'm going to let her figure this out without me getting in the way or interfering. Now watch what she does when she looks back. She's going to check it out. She says, oh, okay. She's going to shake herself. She keeps on, see how she keeps checking. And that checking is nervousness. That is a nervous reaction. Now she's going to move herself along, and we'll see what she does, because for her, this is a very different thing. She's not used to it. She's coming to look towards over here. She's like, well, is someone going to take this off me? The answer is no, not right now. Just don't tread on the bag and get yourself into a big dither and freak yourself out. Okay, it's good for you to, it's good that you're curious about everything. I like that. That is wonderful. That's wonderful. But you see, just having that rope there, she is like a little uncomfortable with that. She's going to come back up. She says, oh, there's some tools on the ground. There's a bag. Move them back here. I want her to focus on and see how she's licking and chewing. She's comforting herself right there, and that's good. But she's still worried about that rope. She's still concerned about that rope. So we're going to watch her and see what she does. Yeah, she's one that she's just beautiful, and you do want to help her. That's the thing. You just take one look at her and you want to help her, and you want her to get out of that anxious phase, which I know all too well what that fight or flight constantly being in your system does and how it feels. It is not a nice thing to have. It's not a nice way to live, being constantly scared of everything. I think that's why I have more patience with horses like this than other people do. A lot of people rush them, and if you rush them, you've got to at some point put the pressure on. But you also got to understand how to take the pressure away to teach them how to take their own pressure away. It has to be their idea in their head every time. If it's not their idea, there she's having a smell. She says, oh, I can smell something there. Exactly. Anybody who's got anxiety can relate to this horse. This horse is bundles of anxiety. She's complex anxiety. She's got so many things going on in her head. She's highly stressed, plus she's a mare, so the hormones are insane. And you can see there, she's got her ears back a bit. She's kind of like, she's listening back for behind her where Ellie is. So she's kind of, you know, she's aware that the other horse is behind her over there. She's listening to that. And here she goes. She's going to take herself for a walk. And let's see what she does as she walks along. Now, one of two things can happen here. She can freak out, or she can just relax herself, or she's going to try and come to me. I'm not going to help her take that off. I want her to figure this out herself. This is very important. You're right, Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course. Sometimes these kinds of horses, it can be neurological problems. If it's neurological, there really is nothing you can do. There is absolutely nothing you can do. So if she doesn't start improving in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I will know it's a neurological issue. And see how she's following me? Now I want her to back. I want her to go back. I don't want her to follow me. I don't want her to be comfortable with me right now. I want her to be comfortable in her own skin, with herself. So I'm going to get something to help me stop her coming at me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back her off. Back. Back. Back we go. Good girl. Back. 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 I'm saying to her, off you go. You go and look after yourself, my lovely. Without making it terrible for her, but she's uncomfortable. She's seeking help from me. What I want her to do is seek help within herself. Anyone with anxiety knows this. You can have 10 million people sitting there reassuring you, but if you don't believe it inside yourself, then it isn't going to be of any use to you. You really have to work it out your own way. And I love that she wants help from us. I love that she's very much in tune with trying to get help from a person. But I want her to figure this out. She seems to have relaxed a bit about the rope being around her now. She's not too concerned about it. So we'll just get her to wander for a bit and see what she does. She's going to check the bag out again. She's like, where are you going? She says, oh, the bag is here. That's right. Getting distracted by the bag. That's a good thing. She's not worried about the bag so much. She's more focused on, okay, I'm just checking it out. And here she goes. Good girl. And you can see why I really like her. She's very intelligent. Seeking help from a person is a very intelligent sign in an animal. And they don't always do it. And she's not even scared of this camera whatsoever. The camera's not freaking her out because I'm holding it as an extension of my arm, so she's not worried by it. But what happens when I move this? Well, now she's forgotten about how scary that was. But now I've put it further back. Now I'm going to go behind her. I'm going to go behind the bag. She says, oh, check the bag out again. Now look where we've got the rope now. It's not on her neck, it's on her tummy. And look what she's doing. She's relaxing. She's backing up. She's trying to get out of the rope. Now she's realising where it is. She says, it's on my back. Get it off me. Get it off me. And what I want her to do is just calm and accept that it's okay. She's going to walk herself around. This is one very smart horse. I'll tell you why she's smart. She's trying to find ways to very calmly deal with it. And that is a very good sign that she's workable. She's still trying to get me to help her, but I'm going to come along here and I'm going to do something different. I'm going to play with a ball. I've got a big blue ball here. See, it's rolling around. It's not the best ball. It's half deflated. But I'm going to roll it round. So this gives her... There's 3 things happening now. But I'm moving away from her. I'm not moving towards her. We're going to see if she follows me and the ball. And she's going to. She's not worried about the ball at all. So she's settling right down. She's looking at it, but she's not too worried. See, she's watching it. There it is. But she's not petrified of it. So I'm going to kick it right on over there. What's her response to that? She says, I don't know. She's got a little quiver in the lip. So she says, all right, well, I don't guess I want to come near you right now because you're playing with that ball. I'll leave you be. And little things like walking along and kicking a ball while ever you're working with a horse, don't underestimate the power of something like that. She's going to check it out because she's not scared of the bag. So I'm going, what? I bet your ball's on it. She's going to come towards this bag and ball. She'll think about it and then she'll head on over. She'll go and check it out. Okay, she says, I'm not worried about that. Let's see if she checks it out. Let's see how well I'm reading this horse. I may get it wrong, but I'm thinking she's going to check that ball out very soon. She's actually, no, she's not. She's going to come back to the, she's coming back over here. She says, you're squatting down there. I'm going to come and see what you're up to. So I'm going to go back to the ball. Now I want her to check the ball out. There you go. It's plastic. You don't like plastic. I know that. I've discovered she does not like the feel of plastic at all. She's a funny horse. She doesn't like plastic. And she's now got a barrier between me and her. She's got to go around this ball if she wants to get to me. And look, there we go. She may even end up playing with the ball. Who knows? If I can pump it up, I can get her to play with it. So making things their idea to where she's not frightened of the object because she's got the confidence to come in and see. Now see that's a very different thing to being flat on the ground. Let's see if she comes forward and checks it out again. You going to come up and check it out, good girl? Come up. The more that we make it her idea to come forward towards something she's afraid of, the greater confidence she's going to have. Ellie is a very confident girl. If you put anything that Ellie's scared of in front of her, she will go and check it out. This horse is pretty brave. She's right in between the bag and the ball, right there. She's checking the bag out again. She says, I'm getting pretty good at this. I'm pretty brave. What about the ball? You could spend hours and hours doing this. It's such a beautiful thing to do, working with a horse like this. And just the good thing about taking your time is I get to learn how she is. I get to view her from a safer distance, number one. Don't want to just run in there and think I know everything about this horse. I don't. There could be a lot that I have no idea about, and there could be reasons why she's been passed on that I haven't seen yet because she's not quite confident enough. But if she gets confidence, she could actually become aggressive. This sometimes happens. Once they get some confidence, they become aggressive and assertive. If that happens, then you got to deal with that as well. She's coming straight back over to me. So, I'm going to keep moving. And it's not about, and the thing is, constantly moving away from her isn't always the answer. You've got to also move into her, ask her to back up so she understands space. She understands leadership. Good girl. She's more than willing. Good girl. And she's happy to do that. And here she goes. She's looking around. She says, I don't know what's around here. I might let the other horse in her paddock. I'll be back in a second. You stay there, Bubby girl. I want her to stay here in this moment with the ball. Stay right with the ball. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off if she's forgotten about it. She has. Put this down here. Drop. Good girl. Get her to stand for me there. She'll probably keep following me, no doubt. I'm going to just let this other horse in. Then I'll let them down the back end. She's up there having a smell of the camera. Good girl. You ready? Come on, Bub. Come on. Come on. Happy. Lily. Lily. Come on. Yeah. Lily. Come on. Good girl. Doing awfully well. Okay, so now I've gone and picked up the thing that she was terrified of a couple of days ago. And I've left her alone for 2 days to not worry about it, but it's this, the lunge whip. You couldn't even go near her with this 2 days ago. She was completely freaked out. Now she's still doesn't like it, but she's far better at staying in the moment right there. The other day, as soon as I brought this out, she took right off. So I'm going to let her smell that. Good girl. And you can see immediately, she says, I don't know about this thing. This thing, I don't like it. She's beginning to be a bit snorty. And that's okay. going to walk away. She starts to lunge herself now. She says, "Oh well, I'd better do what I'm told." Now hang on, I better clean up that poop before she gets poop all over herself and all over my sleep rope. And again, I'm just going to, I'll show you how I tend to desensitise horses quickly is by using things like this. Doesn't like it, but an everyday object that's going to always be around, and it's going to be doing things and making sound. So she's got to get used to it. She's not used to any of this because she hasn't had enough regular handling. Now let's watch and see what she does. She says, "Well, it's scary, but I'm going to come over and follow it." And here she comes. And there we go. I'm going to offer her to smell it. Let's throw it on the ground. See what she does. What is it? She poop scooper. Huh. Bit of plastic. We don't like plastic. She has a smell. She says, "Okay. Yep, I can smell different horses on here." It's giving her the time to be able to, and see, even movements like that, that to my horses is nothing. They think nothing of it because they're used to it. She's not. So I'll do silly things, and let's see if we can get her to allow that to go beside her without her continuously backing off. What I want her to do is allow this to come along the side of her without freaking. This is where she freaks. Once you get near her shoulder, this is where it's upsetting to her. So we want her to come around us and to go past it. There we go. Good girl. There we go. While keeping it in her eye, which is going to go around it. There we go. And see, this is allowing her to be able to not only experience what it's like to go past it, but to be able to keep it in her eye while she's experiencing that. So she's allowed to see it for what it actually is, which is nothing really very scary at all. We're going to go past it. Good girl. We might even walk right next to it. We might. Good girl. We might even go over the top of it. I think we could. I think we probably could. Good girl. There we go. See how much confidence this will give her. Now you watch her next time when I ask her to go over here. She won't have a problem with it. She'll be a lot easier. From this direction, let's try. Not a problem. There we go. Very basic. Good girl. And she doesn't even stop to think there. She just does. These are the most rewarding jobs to do with a horse, where you see a confidence build in a beautiful way, and that lick and chew happen. And let's drop. Good girl. I'd like her to keep her head down just for a moment. Just in the motion, in the moment. There we go. So she's vulnerable when her head's down, and that's not a bad thing for her to experience, being vulnerable. Good job. Now I am aware that that little hole could be a problem if she got her hoof in it, so I am being very careful to place her feet where I think they need to go without too much drama. Good girl. Now I'm going to drop her rope, and we're going to see if she'll do this without me making her do it. And she's immediately going to come on. Come on. She's going to go round. That's pulling on that. So I'm going to move back here because she's now got herself in a predicament where she's pulling on there. Good girl. And we'll see what she does. Can she figure out how to get herself out of this situation. What I don't want is her hoof going into here. I'm very mindful of this. Clever girl. Come on. Oh, what a clever girl. There she goes. And there's a bit of a problem there because that hoof could get stuck in there. So we're going to take this away because as much as it's been a good little experiment, we don't want to get her set her up for failure. Notice that. Now she's not worried too much at all about me dragging this around her at all. See, she's got confidence about it because she went around it herself. And see how she's got that leg stuck on there? That's a good thing. She's teaching herself to handle that pressure. Come on, love. So that's really good. Is she willing to allow me now to let that go beside her? Let's see if that works or not. I don't think she's quite ready yet because I can see she's still apprehensive in the head, how she's lifting herself up and she's got her head held. And I'm not putting extreme pressure on the rope, but I am holding that a little firmer. There we go. Now see the difference now, she's frightened. Okay, so we're going to back that down. We're going to bring her over and say, look, you're okay. Anything that's going to go beside her, she's frightened of. There we go. She's staying in that moment a little bit better. These are things that we really need to work on. I'm just lifting the shovel up and down. It's very normal, very ordinary. There we go. And she's snorting, so she's telling me this is a lot of pressure for me. But she's also noticeably starting to be more curious about it. Oh, she says, oh, did you bump that yourself with your nose? Ask her to come in. I'm going to drag it around again. And we're fine with the dragging. Dragging's not a problem. We're still a little upset. Fine though. Not scared of it. Dragging. We're going to go over the top of it again so she feels that she's in control. Good girl. And she's fine with it on the ground. Very happy to go over. Good job. Very good. Just remembering, it's really a very common item. So she's frightened of everything that is very common. She's very frightened of everything, pretty much. She's like me, extreme anxiety. And we want her to get confidence around these items. And the only way we're going to do that is to every now and again really get her back out of her comfort zone. It really is about getting her desensitized. I'm going to hold this up again and let's watch the body language. Watch my lead rope and watch what happens. It's nice and loose right now. She's having a sniff. She's taken a step back. Going to ask her to take a step forward. Come back in, good girl. Let's see if she'll stay in that moment there. I'm going to move that back. She says, oh, I'm brave. Good girl. Just going to rock it backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. A little bit at a time. She says, oh, this is pretty interesting. Her attention just shifted elsewhere then. Who's over there? It's one of the boys over there. Yeah, Lick and Chew is there. That's really nice. Now she's just, yeah, okay. We're going to go a little closer. but we're going to move to the side. Remembering, she's now tolerating 3 things. She's tolerating my hand with the glove. She's tolerating the pressure on her halter, and she's tolerating the shovel. That's a lot for her, but she's doing so well. I'm just going to let her think about that. Wait for her to just let down and relax. She may give a big snort in a minute. And trust me, this is doing worlds of good for both of us. My anxiety levels are very high too, so she's also working with me being anxious with her. So she's doing very well, because had she been with somebody who's extremely confident, she may be, you know, it may be easier for her, or it may actually be harder, because maybe the fact that I'm also anxious but I'm staying in the moment and she knows this, that makes it okay for her to stay in that moment too. You know, sometimes all the confidence in the world does nothing. Sometimes it's the anxious one that shows us, somebody who's petrified that gets it done. And see there, she's decided she's going to manoeuvre herself. I want her to bring her face around here, because what I'd like to do is just get her to stand in the moment. Good girl. Just want her to stand in that moment. She's dodging everything, that's for sure. There we go. She took a step a little bit forward there. I want her to stand with that. Good girl. Great job. Oh, so good. The rope is no longer an issue for her at all. Earlier it was the rope. The rope isn't scaring her whatsoever. Let's see if we can keep her. So I'm going to put that pressure on, just a little. Just going to hold her this way. Put a little pressure on there. Ask her to walk the side. There we go. That's a girl. That's a girl. There we go. She's coming up nice and close. There we go. She's actually got it resting on her. And that was her walking into that. That's really good. That's a really big thing. Doesn't look it, but it is a very big thing that she's allowing that to come here. And we remove it. And then we put back. Good girl. There we go. Something that was petrifying a moment ago isn't so bad, because we've realised, and here she goes again with a lip and a chew, we have realised that it isn't so scary on that side. Are we going to realise it on this side? Yes, we are. Oh, we're close to it. Good girl. Can I ask her to walk up? Come in. Not away, not away, not around. Oh, she says, oh, I can actually use this as a rubbing tool. At the handle. At the handle. There we go. Handle's okay. Yeah, you're all right. You're handling this very well. You are handling this very well. Always keeping a very gentle, very gentle. I'm not pulling at all. I'm actually just, the ropes just kind of curl around my hand a little. There's no force there at all. And she's going to let me go on this side. Good girl. There we go. There's that big snort let down. Good, good girl. That's a good girl. Yes. There we go. Good girl. And then I'm going to remove it. And then it's up to her to decide. She's going to check herself. Is it still there or is it gone? It's already left. Now we're going to pull up and go back into it. There we go. Good girl. And it's actually moving around on the ground as well as moving there. So we're going to go this side now. And look at that. I'm able to get right next to that leg. Whereas before that was absolutely petrifying. Look at that. Good girl. Good job. You want to drop your head? Are you allowed to drop? Drop. Good girl. Very good. She says, yeah, it's not so bad. Going to get her to walk towards. And let's see what she does. Is she going to walk towards, or is she going to try and sneak around? And go towards. Good. And look how close she came to that. And I'm able to manoeuvre that. Good. There we go. And she's much slower about her movement. I'm going to let her come up towards me. It's like, what the heck is that? Well, you're not freaking out about it. No? I would be if I'd never seen it before, though. I most definitely would be. That would be pretty scary. It's making sounds. It's causing a bit of dust to get in the air. It's really curious now. So I'm just going to let her... Sorry, I didn't realise we're out of the camera angle. I'm just going to let her be in that moment. So what I was just doing was I'm just taking it and I'm going from the ground up to me. I'm going from her feet back to me. Her feet back to me. Good girl. There we go. When she relaxes and she gives me the sign that she gets it, I will then continue on. She's about to do it. Just thinking. There we go. Good girl. Now we're going to go this side, which is a bit scarier. Come back over here. Back over here. Good girl. So I'll just show you again, close, what we're doing. You can have a smell. You can try. You can taste. Do what you like. Not so bad, is it? You can see I've got the lead rope very loose. She's not trying to pull away. She's staying in that moment, which is very good. Then ask her to walk forward. Walk forward. Good girl. And we got the lip and chew again. Now I'm going to put this one away. Now I'm going to work with something else that has been bothering her. Very good girl. And now, things like me walking up like that is just easy because she's just been in a position that was scary to her. Let's see how she goes with the rope again now. Whether this is any different. Good girl. A little bit better. A little bit wary of it. A little bit wary of it. Nothing dreadful though. Good girl. It's a lot. It's a lot to have done. Now today I'm going to finish off. She's done very well. So I'm going to finish by picking his front leg up and holding. Just holding it here. She's trying very hard to take it away, but we're going to hold it. And then we're going to release it. Very nice and gently. Now, when I first came and got her, I couldn't even pick it up without her freaking out. Now she's offering it to me nicely. This side she's not as good at. Good girl. This side she wants to keep moving. whatever. Is it? I don't know. You want to smell me, but we're gonna take it slow. Stop. I'd like her to give it to me. She's got that back foot up, so I want her to drop that back. Good girl. Ask her to bend the knee, and I'm going to give her a bit of a tug here. She doesn't want to do it that way. We're going to try a different way. We're going to try the rope. As soon as she does, we release. Good girl. So she really needs an awful lot of work around these feet. Pressure on, pressure off immediately. Pressure on, pressure off. I want her to bring it up just a little bit better. Good girl. Good job. I'm going to ask again. This time, I'm going to ask with a bit of pressure with my hand. And we're going to hold it. Hold it. Good girl. No biting. Hold it. Good girl. She's a bit nervy. And we're going to release it. Good job. And you see, I released it when she started that lick and chew release. That's when I released it. So we want her to do that again. We'll start with the rope. Give a bit of pressure there. Give a bit of pressure there. Once she lifts, we release it. Yeah, good girl. Good job. She's picking things up. I think what's happened is they've been able to get at the other side, but not this side. And look how much quicker she's giving that. Trying very hard. She's trying very hard. Such a good job. And now she's going to give it to me instantly. There we go. How quick was that? She released it a little bit earlier than I'd like. But as long as we're getting that pick up, back. Good girl. As long as we're getting that pick up as we're asking, the pressure coming on, we're getting a nice response there. There we go. When we're here, do some things with her feet, do her touching. There we go. That's much better. My goodness me. That's the best we've done with our feet. Let's try this other one. This side here. Which is she's far better on this side. That was a little bit of a stomp. We don't want to leave it like that. Good girl. Stay a moment. I want her to stay in that moment and let her go. At the right time. It takes a bit of work. We'll be okay in no time at all. What we've got to get used to though, touching the back, because the touching the back is what she's petrified of. So that's what we need to do a bit more work on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. That's all right, you're okay. You're all right, it's not going to kill you, you're all right. You'll be all right. Okay, standing. Good girl. Standing. Stand still and go. When she stands still, then I release it back. When she stands, you take away. That pressure goes. Good girl. Good job. Good job, Jenny. You're a bit frightened, I know, but it's okay. You're all right. Let it relax. Relax. Good girl. Just relax. I want her to just accept that little bit of pressure that she was a minute ago all right with, but now she's not so good with. We're just going to, good girl, relax her. Good girl. Good job. So she's very willing to learn, and we've done an awful lot this morning. I'm going to give her a bit of time to let down time to just relax and have a bit of time off now. She can have a bit of time just to think about things. I'll move her back in with Henry a bit later. But for now, she's free to go and do her own thing. And she's been a very good girl. Done a wonderful job. Yes, you did. Wonderful job. Good girl. The other thing that she's also tolerating much better today is the pats around the body and under. This is usually where they really enjoy scratch. Yeah. Oh, she scared me when she just let that let down. She freaked me out. I know, I'm a nervy pocket too. I'm a nervy pocket too. All right, you're free to go, my darling. You're free to go. Good girl. So this is a very good first session with her. I'm very pleased with how that just went. Thank you to everybody who's watching, and hope you guys, maybe if you ever get a horse, you've learned a little bit about how to work with a very timid horse that's scared of everything. It's slow. Now the reason I made that session so long is she is not a young horse. She is a 10-year-old. She has, at the point, she has been ridden by a little girl, young girl, who did all the work herself. So, you know, she's not, it's not that she's had no education at all, but she's just very timid. So we're trying to desensitize her to that where she's not feeling intimidated. She's going to probably end up having a roll in a second. She's probably going to roll. And all that tension that she's just had in her body, she's going to want to get that out. So she'll roll now. Here she goes. Here she goes. She's getting ready, and down she'll go. Good girl, Freckles. Oh, look at that big belly. She is way too fat. Oh, she can go all the way over. Well, she's not doing too bad then. If she can get all the way over, she's doing well. Beautiful. Good girl. So I've just got to keep her, keep mindful of her weight. We're going to do some work to lose that weight. You'd be surprised how all the groundwork and stuff actually does burn calories with them, especially if they're nervous horses. They'll burn calories quick too. We'll try and figure out whether this is a neurological thing or if she's just timid. Like I said, if it's neurological, there's probably nothing more that can be done with her. This is as far as she's going to go. But I do think we can maybe improve her slightly with her ability to be able to get the feet done and things like that. I've seen a vast improvement in the last 2 days. So I've gone from her refusing completely to having her feet picked up to now with one side handing it over straight away. Back feet we have not even tried yet. We're going to wait till she gets to know me a bit more. In the next few days we'll work on those back feet, and I've got to get confident enough to be able to handle the situation Because believe me, just because she's little doesn't mean you can't get hurt. You can still be hurt. She's got a powerful little kick on her. She is a kicker. I've watched her. She's kicked 3 geldings next door in the face through the fence line when they've been sniffing her. So she is one who will give a kick, and it's quite a powerful punch that she's packing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try to work with her as careful as we can and keep her, get her as desensitised as we possibly can, with as many people being around her as we possibly can get to. The more people that are around her and the more she's exposed to different things, the better she's going to be. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Hi, Skelly. I hope that was informative. Yeah. And hopefully you can sort of see the progress that happens over the next few weeks with her. I'm looking forward to it. I think she just needs a lot of regular work. Yeah, she's definitely a lot like Phoenix. He was very much the same. He was actually a lot worse. You'd just be standing next to him and he would just take off. There'd be no indication whatsoever. He would just bolt. And he was a real freaking out horse. He freaked out over anything and everything. He's the one I broke my back on. And it was my own fault. I shouldn't have put him in a position in the paddock. I had been riding him regularly in the round yard, and we'd had no issues whatsoever. I was able to ride him very well in the round yard, and he was doing beautifully. But when I took him out in the paddock, I jumped on him, no saddle, just a halter, and ended up getting into a bit of a dilemma. Good girl. All right, I'm going to head off. I'll catch you guys a bit later. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.